Hello and welcome to another episode of our tutorial videos. I hope all of you are doing great. Now, in the past, I have been doing some tutorial videos with regards to the front end and the back end of WordPress. Today's video is a bit more educational as compared to it being a tutorial video. Now, I'm going to provide you some relevant and main points with regards to the website content strategy, how you can strategize your website content, either it's an existing website or a new website, keeping those points in mind. Now, first point, very important one and a basic one, you need to establish what kind of a website do you have. Are you selling products on your website, which makes you an e-commerce business, or are you going to offer services through your website, which is a brochure website? So once that point has been established, it is important to identify the target audience. And for that, if you have an existing website, you can do some researching about the demographics. You can use various tools, for example, Google Analytics 4. You can implement that on your existing website, and that will give you a very good idea of what demographics are coming through on your website. Now, if you're planning to strategize the content for a newer website, then you might have done some market analyses or some research with regards to your audience from the experience if you were selling products or if you were offering services. What kind of age groups, what kind of gender, what kind of mobile devices, desktop devices, those kind of demographics, they help you in understanding your target audience in a better way, and then you can portray your message accordingly. Once that point has been established, the next thing is moving towards your competitor. So if you have a few competitors, do your analyses of the competitor websites as well. How are your competitors portraying the similar product or that particular service which you're going to offer? If you have done your competitor analyses, that will help you understand the trend in that particular industry or market. And then you're able to strategize your website content in a better manner. Now, after all the demographics, all the target audiences have been established, and you have done your competitor analyses as well, the next move is the web writing essentials. What do you need to write or put down on your website? So there are some main points which you need to keep in mind when you're writing down the content for your website. First of all, please use clear and concise language, no jargons, no additional stuff which is not required on the website, to the point content, but clear and concise language, which is trying to engage your audience. Then, well, while we're talking about engaging, your headlines and subheadings on the website should be engaging. They should be in bold. They should not be irrelevant. So because the headlines and the subheadings are something or is something which your audience is going to see immediately. They're topical. So that helps the audience to understand the message you're trying to portray in a better manner. Then, if you're an e-commerce business and you're selling products, your product headlines and your product descriptions should be compelling. They should not be vague. They should not be out of order. The language used in the product descriptions, the specifications, dimensions of your product, all the necessary information should be in the product description as well. And a very important point, which I see that a lot of users do miss or do not pay attention to, is having strong call to actions on your website. So, for example, shop now, shop today, shop online, buy now, order online for e-commerce websites. Or if you're a service-based website, get in touch with us today, get a free quote today, call us, contact us, those kind of call to actions. It's important that you focus on the wording as well as the placement of the call to actions. If you have mentioned something about a service or a product, then there should be a call to action in the following paragraph or in the following body context, so that once people have read your content, they are now able to take the action. If your call to action is hidden somewhere in the header or footer menu, people can't locate it, they might exit the website immediately. And now, while we're talking about these call to actions, this brings another important point, which is making the website design responsive. When I say responsive, once you have done all your designing, you have put through the content, please test your website on a mobile and a tablet device. How does it look on a mobile device? Because when you squeeze the content, your call to actions, your buttons, your text, your images might go out of order. You need to adjust it in a way, keeping a layman in mind that if a user is on the website and they're scrolling through the website on a mobile device or a tablet device, what should they immediately see? Are they seeing my content in the right way? Are they getting to know more about my services and are followed up by a call to action immediately on a mobile device or a tablet device? If not, please fix those issues. Otherwise, again, your exit rate or the bounce rate might be high for the website. Now, while we're talking about the users coming to the website, there are a few points which actually relate to the user-friendly structure and design of the website. So for example, keep your navigation, header, and footer menus simple. But always make sure if you're selling products, your navigation menu should have headings and subheadings. There should be a category, then a subcategory, so that it makes it easier for the users to get to the product they're looking for. That's one of the things. The other thing is keep a good search functionality on your website. Either it's a service-based or an e-commerce website, the search functionality should be good enough on the website so that if users can't find anything, they go to the search bar and they type the relevant query and find the service or the product they're looking for very easily. That is a key point there. The other thing which attracts or engages users is that if you have imagery, please use high quality images because that builds the trust in the user. Use relevant images. If it's a product, I do recommend using the product image along with the lifestyle image, that product being used by an individual in that image. That gives the user an idea of how the product looks or is being used in a certain manner. So those images should be high quality, well optimized, that engages the user. Similarly, it goes the same for the video content. If you have uploaded any videos on the website, they should be of high quality, please. Now, for the e-commerce website, it's very important that you have great imagery, you have great product descriptions, headings, everything is looking amazing on the product pages. What happens when someone adds the product to the carts and then goes to the checkout process? Please test it yourself as a layman and notice a few points there. If there are any issues at the checkout, will a person get confused with a particular process within the checkout or the cart? Once the product has been added to the cart, have they been shown the message or a slider that your product has been added to the cart? Is there a notification bar, or does it automatically go to the cart and people will have to manually find the cart logo in the top of the header menu? I've seen this happen so many times. So make sure once the product has been added to the cart, a slider comes up, a notification bar comes up, which shows that your product has been added to the cart, and then it allows them to view the cart or go to the checkout process immediately, making things easier for your users to purchase the product. Because at the end of the day, if everything is looking great on the product page, but the checkout or the cart process is inconvenient for the users, they might end up bouncing off your website. So another very important point for the e-commerce website. Similarly, for the service-based websites, it's important that your contact forms are placed on the right pages and your call to actions are taking the users to the contact details immediately. Either it's a contact form, a quote form, a phone number, or an email link click. Those should be placed in a convenient place on the website so the users can find them easily. There are some more points with regards to the technicalities. And when I talk about technicalities, those are mostly related to the search engine optimization, because while you're updating or strategizing content for your website, search engine optimization is also a major part of it. So for example, if you're doing on-page SEO for your website, updating or a new website, it's important that you do some keywords research or keywords optimization. Now, there's a great tool out there which is called Google Search Console, which gives you the organic search query data for your website. Now, this is applicable where you have an existing website and you're wanting to update the content of the existing website. That tool will become handy for you. If you implement it on your existing website, it will give you the information for all the organic search queries which people have been putting in to see your website links. And that gives you an idea that for a particular search query or a keyword, you're coming up on this position organically. This is the number of clicks and impressions you have received. You might notice that, okay, we need to improve for a particular keyword. So what do we do about it? Probably we add it to our meta title of the website or meta description of the website, or we add that in one of our blogs. Especially if you're an e-commerce website, you might start writing up blogs to improve your position and ranking for specific keywords. So that is the kind of research you want to do for on-page SEO. Your meta titles, your meta descriptions, your H tags on each page of the website, they are the heading tags that the bots crawl immediately when they come onto the website. The structure of the heading tags is important. So the first heading is H1 in the backend. The second, the smaller ones are H2, and then H3, and then H4, so on and so forth. These are some of the important and critical on-page SEO points which you need to keep in mind when you're doing the SEO structure of the website. Now, the second part is the technical SEO, and there are quite a few things which people do not focus on or ignore, and then they get penalized in terms of lower organic rankings, etc. So the very first thing is make sure your domain and the website has the SSL certificate on it. It should say HTTPS and it should have a SSL certificate within the domain. It's either done from the domain side or the host side of the website. So make sure your website has that, because especially for Google, Google loves those websites which are secured, which have a proper SSL certificate. It slightly improves your organic rankings as well. The second thing is the image optimization, which I mentioned earlier. So I mentioned that you need to have high-res images, but then comes the point where people say, okay, we have high-res images on our website, but our website has gotten a lot more slower because the size of the images is very high. Well, there are different techniques, there are different plugins, especially in WordPress, there are different apps in Shopify and other content management systems which you can use to optimize the images and then load them while the user scrolls down on the page. So they load as you go. That improves the stability and the speed of your website. So your images should be well optimized. They should be of high quality, but well optimized. Then a very important point for both the e-commerce and the service or brochure-based websites is the implementation of structured data, a piece of code in the backend of your website which allows the bots to crawl into your website and take the content out of there and present it organically in front of the users. Now, structured data has various code types or schemas, if you want to call it in a technical manner. Those schemas are available for products, blogs, articles, services, location-based, your own organization. That is becoming an important feature, especially in the world of artificial intelligence, because that information will be picked up by the bots and presented in front of the users. If you have seen that new feature from Google, which is known as the AI overview, any information in that section is coming through the implementation of structured data in the backend of the website. Now, the final point is uploading a sitemap of your website. A sitemap is basically a document which contains all the active URLs or links of your website that needs to be handled properly, that needs to be uploaded properly, so the bots know that these are the links, these are the pages on your website. We need to crawl into each one of them, index them, take the information, and present it in front of the audience organically, and then rank you organically in accordance with that. So these are some of the important points which you need to keep in mind while you are strategizing your website content for a new website or for an existing website. At Web Wonks, we have a team of experts who can do all of this mentioned service or set of services for you. We can implement the Google Analytics platform on your existing website, Google Search Console. We can help you with the analysis of the data, research of the keywords, research of the demographics. All of that data we can do for you. Plus, we have the experts who can do the website strategy right for you. So the website content strategy management, that is one of the expertise we have. So if you want assistance with that, please get in touch with us today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, a thumbs up or a like would be appreciated. Any comments or feedback regarding any of the points there, you can put down below in the comment section. I would hope that I see you next time. Thank you very much.